Hey folks, glad to see you again. This is Chef Marty Mongiello, and welcome to another edition of Inside the President's Cabinet. Today we're going to be talking about I Like Ike. So I Like Ike means President Eisenhower. If you hadn't heard that before, it was a huge campaign slogan of his. And we want to take a look at the famous general today, President Eisenhower. Don't forget, he was the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and really a fantastic protege for the United States Army, rising to its highest post. And we just love Ike here and been so happy to work with his granddaughter, Julie Eisenhower, and have donated money to the refurbishment, which is now rolled out for the brand new Eisenhower Museum in Abilene, Kansas. Oh my gosh, and who knew in Abilene High School that we would be able to get a photograph from Julie Eisenhower. She sent this to us. This is in 1908, and I've circled Ike up here when he was a little baseball player. Is that not awesome? He was one of the more scrawny kids in his class. If you look at him, he's not very beefy. One of the more fascinating chefs at the White House was the Eisenhower's chef. But also, it's amazing to see, not only do we have the famous French chef François Rossadi, but you know, President Eisenhower is a very famous chef himself. And not a lot of people know that he was a fantastic cook. Although when Chef Francois gets to the White House, he does say, you know, these people don't eat very fancy. They're not like gourmet food. Yeah, one of the neat things we like to share with people, of course, is the president renamed the presidential retreat from Shangri-La to after his grandson, David, and it became the Camp David Presidential Retreat. One of Ike's favorite dishes was beef stew. And people often ask me, you know, what makes his beef stew different than any other beef stew? And, you know, yeah, we have the carrots and the onions and the potatoes. He loved onions and Mamie hated them. So if he was cooking, which like I said, he often cooked, he was a very, very famous cook. But the big thing about his beef stew when you make it, and we'll send you the recipe, or it's on the website, is he chops up tomatoes and they must be peeled and they are in the stew. So not all beef stews have tomatoes. Yeah, hilarious story about the president and cows. Now, don't forget, this president grew up on a farm and collected eggs every day, fed the chickens, went out there, took care of the pigs, and knew how to milk cows because he did it all the time. And also was very specific when he would tell people, I actually churned butter as a kid. And you know what? So did my wife, Chef Stormy, churned butter as a kid. But during the war, comes upon some of the sergeants who have an enemy cow that they captured, and they are busy there under there trying to get it to milk and get the milk out in fresh milk, and if we could just have fresh milk, we could make cheese, and not getting very far. And he tells them, get out of the way. A couple of them, including the guy that was down there, is like, yes, General, let me get in there. And he gets down and starts, and actually they said within a couple of minutes, he had a whole pail full of milk. So hilarious. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inside the President's Cabinet. I'm Marty Mongiello, and see you next time.